gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is a hot, sticky Wednesday afternoon here in New York City, and it is time for baseball as Kia Motors presents the Wednesday game of the week. It's the New York Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles in the final game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Yankees have not been playing good baseball of late. They've lost 9 of their last 12 games. Last night, they got beaten by the Orioles by a 9-5 score. They scored 5 runs in the first inning and could not hold on. The Orioles exploded in the second inning, and the big hit off the bat of Chris Davis.
Yeah, Chris Davis. I mean, this is the second time he got a hanging slider in the same count, and he did not miss it. All of a sudden, you come from a 5-0 deficit, and then see Rudy Urias out, ex-Yankee bullpen guy, make a pretty good grab out there, but that was a backbreaker for the Yankees. Tough game to lose.
Weird month for the Yankees, Paul. First 14 games, they were 10-4. They scored about 6 runs a game. The last 12, 3-9, scoring 4 runs a game. Obviously, the hitting not the same. The home run's not the same. And the ERA, 4.25 in the last 12 games. They have a 5.5 game lead in the American League East. But on July 18th, it was a 10-game lead. After the game yesterday, Joe Girardi talked about this little slump.
We're not playing well. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We've been through streaks before where we haven't played well, and we've bounced back, and that's all we need to do.
All right, let's take a look at today's New York Lottery pitching matchup. For the Orioles, it's Zach Britton, 1-0 with a 5.74. And for the Yankees, Phil Hughes gets the start. He's 10-8 with a 4.08 ERA. In this game, there is a new Yankee. Casey McGehee will start his first game at first base. He'll bat 7th. He came over from the Pirates. When we come back, we'll hear from McGehee. That's next on Yes. Yesterday, born in California, drafted by the Cubs in the 10th round in 2003. It's his 5th Major League season, and a big one in 2010 with Milwaukee, 23 home runs, 104 ribbies. With the Pirates this season, 238 homers, 35 ribbies. He played first and third today in the Yankee lineup. He is playing first base. Meredith Marakovitz asked him earlier his thoughts about coming to the Yanks.
Really, the biggest thing, I just am excited. So I haven't slept much, but partly most of it's just because of excitement. I couldn't wait to get here and try to get a little bit of comfort before I got to get in there and try to do something and help this team win games. And I couldn't be happier.
He's a grinder. Phil Hughes is a grinder as well. He'll get the start for the Yankees. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball next, right here on Yes. This is brought to you in part by Domino's. Order a handmade inspired pizza at Domino's.com and see the progress of your order in real time with Domino's Tracker. By J&R Music and Computer World. And by the professionals in the tri-state GMC dealers. Well, it's threatening weather here at the stadium. The lights are on, and baseball will begin shortly. Phil Hughes gets to the mound, about to begin his warm-ups. So why don't we take a look at the Orioles starting lineup that will face the Yankees' young right-hander. Orioles are 55-49, 5.5 games behind the Yankees. They lead off their right fielder, Nick Markakis. J.J. Hardy, the shortstop, will bat second. Batting third, DHing Chris Davis. Adam Jones in center field will clean up. Batting fifth and catching, Matt Wieters. Wilson Betemit at third base will bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing first base, Mark Reynolds. Endy Chavez in left field will hit eighth. And Omar Quintanilla, he's red hot, will play second base, and he will bat ninth. The numbers on Phil Hughes. He's 10-8 with a 4.08 ERA, about a hit per inning, 29 walks, not bad, 107 strikeouts, but he's allowed 25 home runs. Opponents hit 252 against him. Let's take a look now at the McDonald's pitcher scouting report, Paul.
Well, you kind of touched on it a little bit. He's a daydreamer, though. He pitches very well in the day. Since 2009, he's 15-7 in day starts. Nothing's for free, averaging just 2.1 walks per 9 inning, which is the lowest on the Yankee staff. Give me a little help on that last one, Mike.
See ya.
There you go. See ya. He has given up 25 home runs this season, including 17 at home, which leads MLB pitchers.
Yankees would love a win, that's for sure, to salvage the final game of this 3-game set. Let's take a look at the defense behind Phil. It's brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the outfield, Suzuki gets his first regular season start in left field. Then there's Granderson in center. Andrew Jones is over in right. Infield, Nix, Jeter, Cano, and the newest Yankee, Casey McGehee, third to first. Russell Martin is behind the plate. And Phil Hughes is on the mound. There he is in left field. Nick Swisher is not in right today. He's the DH, but with a fly ball pitcher, they want to Ichiro could cover a lot of ground out there. Let's do it here in the Bronx. The first pitch to Markakis is up and away, and we are underway. Well, the Yankees have struggled with Markakis the first 2 games. He has 6 hits and 9 at-bats. Fouled away.
We talked about Markakis, and he's been a different player since he came back from injury. And his at-bats, he's on every pitch. You can tell he's comfortable. Lefties, righties. He's really shown in this series that he can handle the fastball in. And he's used all parts of the field.
The 1-1. Now 1-2.
Really important in my mind for Phil Hughes to establish a fastball early today. Freddie Garcia couldn't do it. Nova couldn't do it last night. He got to the breaking balls, but never did either pitcher have good command of that fastball where they could use it to set up these Baltimore hitters.
Count 2-2 on Markakis. Foul back. No, bugaboo with Phil Hughes is that he does give up the home run, and Paul gave you that in the scouting report. I asked Joe Girardi about it today. I said, is he doing something wrong? He said, no, he's a fly ball pitcher. He said, and fly balls occasionally can leave the ballpark. He said, as long as there aren't people on base. Chopped over the middle. Jeter is there, and he gets Markakis for the first out.
Markakis kind of looked over there, and Jeter was playing him up the middle. That's a ball as a lefty you see go right over the pitcher's head. You expect it to go up the middle. Derek Jeter shading over towards second base. Makes it an easy play. You see Markakis kind of look back. Usually that ball on the other side of second base ends up being a hit. That reaction like, where in the world are you playing me?
There's a strike to J.J. Hardy. Laced into right center field. That is going to be a base hit. Cutting over is Granderson. Cut the ball off before the wall, but J.J. Hardy's at second with a 1-out double.
And all of a sudden that play by Jeter becomes big. And I tell you, if you've watched this series, J.J. Hardy has seen nothing but balls away, away, away. As a hitter, I mean, you're going to make some adjustments. Phil Hughes has to know the way pitchers before him have pitched guys and try to just show him pitches inside. Again, this ball's away. Not a bad pitch, but when you've seen everything the whole series on the outside part of the plate, you start looking out there.
Here's Chris Davis, that big grand slam in the second inning, and the Orioles never look back after that. Fly ball right field. Andrew Jones is there. He'll make the catch. As Hardy tags but bluffs. 2 outs. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 80 degrees, 69% humidity. Not much wind, but there are possible thunderstorms.
Make those possible thunderstorms about 5 o'clock, huh? Like dinner with a thunderstorm after the game's over.
But you know, Yankees Orioles, 5 o'clock could be 6th inning.
7th inning or so. It's a problem with you and I, Mike, when we do Baltimore. We run out of things to talk to each other about by the 7th.
Never.
Never.
Here's Adam Jones with a runner on second and 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Now, you know the stuff that Phil Hughes features. Why do lefties hit 197 against him, but righties 321? Is there any rhyme or reason to that?
Well, earlier in the year, he used his cutter a lot, and he's gotten away from that, and that would make him effective against lefties. But, you know, some of those stats just don't make sense. Obviously, his curveball, when it's good, is a good out pitch against righties. It comes back to being able to locate that fastball. You have to be able to get that ball in on righties to get him out.
So lefties hit 197 against him, righties 321. It seems completely the opposite of what it should be, but that's the way it is.
We'll give you a little hint, Michael. That's going to come up in the next inning scouting report, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Popped up. Casey McGehee makes the play, and that will do it. No runs to hit, no errors, 1 man left. Orioles nothing. Yankees coming to bat, and stay tuned for that scouting report. Presented by Lexus. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off. Batting second and playing center is Curtis Granderson. Nick Swisher, the DH, will hit third. Cleaning up second baseman Robinson Cano. Andrew Jones in right field will bat fifth. Russell Martin hitting under 190. He will catch and bat sixth. Why? Joe Girardi said he hits well against lefties. Casey McGehee, the first baseman, bats seventh, his first Yankee game. Ichiro Suzuki in left field will hit eighth, and batting ninth and playing third base, Jason Nix. Let's check out what Zach Britton is about as Derek Jeter waits. Britton will make his fourth start, 1-0, 5.74 ERA, more than a hit per inning, too many walks, 8 strikeouts, opponents hitting 258 against him. And now let's take a look at that widely anticipated and awaited McDonald's pitchers scattering report.
You talked about Phil Hughes kind of being backward. Well, he struggles with lefties. Lefty struggles. Lefties are hitting 389 off Britton, and compared to 205 for righties. So weird. Get down on it, Mike. A little cooling game for you, all right? He registered 60% of his outs are ground balls, so it tells you he's a good sinker ball pitcher. And flashback, and this is a bad flashback, Michael. Listen to this. During his first start at Yankee Stadium on July 30th, 2011, allowed 9 runs in 1/3 of an inning. Only pitcher to ever do that.
That's
ever.
A bad flashback.
Ever. When you say ever,
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
So Britton, the first pitcher to ever do that against the Yanks, and now the Yanks will try again with Derek Jeter leading off. Count 1-0. As we mentioned, lights are on from the very first pitch of the game. In the dark, overcast, the sun is a rumor today. The 1-0. Ground ball left side, backhanded by Hardy. Sets, fires, got him. Nice play by J.J. Hardy. Why don't we check out the Oriole defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Chavez, Jones, and Markakis left, right in the outfield. Infield, Bettamy, Hardy, Quintanilla, and Reynolds third to first. Weeders behind the plate, and Zach Britton is on the mound.
And J.J. Hardy, when he moves to his right, there's one thing you need as a shortstop is a good throwing arm. Good throw, good play. And it was a shortstop. Derek Jeter gets out of the box, a lot of infield hits. Solid play. Michael, I keep looking at your monitor when they show the sky. I don't know if you've got the tint wrong or something, but it's not that dark out here. But on your screen, it looks dark.
How could you say it's not that dark?
It's not that dark.
It looks like...
I got rose-covered glasses.
I guess you do.
And I'm just looking forward to a long, good day here. That's all.
Well, you're going to get a long day here. And you're going to get a long drive there. See ya! A home run for Curtis Granderson. Yankees on the board. It's 1-0.
Well, Curtis Granderson lately has been kind of a home run guy or a strikeout guy. And today, I led you right into your home run call, Michael. I appreciate that, don't you? Right here, didn't take any time, fastball. And this is the scouting report, Michael. We talked about lefties. He has all kinds of trouble. He does not get that ball in. Ball right out over the plate, and Curtis Granderson hammered it.
29th home run for Granderson, and his 60th run batted in. Job is pumped up, so is the Yankee crowd, and here's Nick Swisher.
Since 2011, that ties him with Jose Bautista, who's on the disabled list we talk about. 70 home runs since 2000, most in Major League Baseball.
You get a great flavor ice when you hit a home run.
He's a big fan of those cool pops, isn't he?
Driven down the right field line, it's a fair ball. That didn't go into the corner. Swisher around first, he'll go to second, and he was in there with a double.
Talked about Britton's flashback on how he only 1/3 of an inning and gave up all kind of runs. Well, he's off that kind of start today. Granderson all of a sudden goes deep, and now Nick Swisher, who, after his little bit, it's enough too. I have a cool pop to watch one of my teammates run to second.
No, Paul, I'm going to bring a couple of those up here for Friday because you deserve some. They won't send any up for you.
They were keeping him for Old Timers Day that day we asked for him.
Here's Cano. Swing and miss.
Now, see, there's no rhyme or reason for me when I look at Britton. The kind of stuff he has, he's not like a typical lefty that kind of flips up stuff. He has good fastball, has good sink. 92, 93 with a decent curveball. Should not have this many issues getting left-handed hitters out. To me, it's all about trying to get inside on lefties. Cano hit an absolute bullet yesterday for a home run to shut off a little slump that he had going. And that's the pitch that can give trouble. And this is the one you better don't blink because it's gone. I mean, you've got to watch this highlight quick.
Cano, 3 hits in his last 23 at-bats. Still hitting .309. Dribbled slowly to first, could be a tough play. And it's not made. The throw gets away, but Nick Swisher stays put at third.
Really, really good play by Quintana.
No, this is Reynolds.
The backup here.
Quintana, yeah.
Keeping him from score. Tough play, Bam Bam. But you see, you know, when you don't get to the line and get down to the bag quick enough, then you have to look for the baseball and the bag at the same time. Robbie needs some hits like that after just breaking out of a kind of a little mini slump.
I almost thought that should have been an error on Britton. The ball was in his glove. But they give Cano a hit. The official score is Billy Altman. And here's Andrew Jones. And a strike.
Talked yesterday about some of the things that the Orioles don't do really well in fielding, catching the baseball, making the plays with one of them. They're 14th in the American League in fielding percentage. So
high drive, deep right center. Adam Jones back. He'll make the catch on the warning track. Tagging is Swisher. He will score. It's a sac fly for Andrew Jones, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
And you see why those plays come back to haunt you. I mean, if you make that play, Robbie's out, there's 2 outs, that fly ball doesn't cost you a run. And the next thing you know a nice easy sacrifice fly, and you've given up another run.
Here's Russell Martin batting in the number 6 hole today. And a strike.
Talk about Britton in that one game he had here with 9 runs in 1/3 of an inning. I mean, he probably feels like if he can get out of his inning, only give up 2, he's really ahead of schedule.
Cruising.
That's right. 3 outs, only a couple runs.
Slice foul.
Talk about Martin's struggles with offensively this year, and he has hit some home runs. But one thing he's done pretty well this year is hit left-handed pitching. He's hitting 270. The problem is he's hitting 160 off righties.
And they're more righties than lefties. Count 1-2.
I used to feel it was vice versa sometimes in the old ballpark. Guys would just schedule lefties to pitch against us every single day. Used to wonder where all the right-handed pitchers went.
The 1-2. Foul back. Saw from that previous stat, Russell Martin takes advantage of that short porch and right here at the stadium, and that's a strength for him. So 7 opposite field home runs. So 7 of his 12 going to right. And those are all here at the stadium. Count 2-2.
Very tough year. I mean, if you're Russell Martin, I mean, defensively you can't knock anything he's done. Defensively, he's done a great job. But every single day at this point of the year, you take that average with you to the ballpark, and it's just like a weight every single day.
And it just got a little bit heavier as he strikes out to end the inning. But the Yankees got on the board first when Curtis Granderson went yard. Home run number 29. By the end of the inning, it was 2-0 Yanks. Here's the question. Which of these Oriole Hall of Famers would you choose to build a team around? Let's see what the choices are. Would it be Eddie Murray? Would it be Jim Palmer? Cal Ripken Jr.? Brooks Robinson? Or Frank Robinson? You can text your vote to 42951. Standard text messaging rates apply. Who would you build around?
There's 5 studs right there. I mean, Frank Robinson's attitude and his playing ability. Cal Ripken Jr., how can you go wrong there? And if you want to go with pitching, Jim Palmer. Eddie Murray, a switch hitter.
I think I'd go with Frank Robinson.
Yeah, he was one of the toughest players. I heard a lot of stories being in Cincinnati. You know, he was an ex-Red in Oriole. One of the toughest players to ever play the game.
Great trade by the Orioles. The Reds traded him because they thought he was an old 30. Didn't work out that way. Reds have made some really bad moves trading outfielders.
Made another trade yesterday. They brought Jonathan Broxton over there to try to help there. You know, they just went through a 10-game winning streak, and now they've kind of built a lead. But the Pittsburgh Pirates come in there this weekend. Be a big series.
Driven out to left center field. Curtis Granderson on the run will make the play for the first out. Verizon customers, you won't have to miss a game again now that you can watch live Yes Network Yankees games on your PCs or laptops with Verizon Fios. Get the remaining season of live Yankees games on the go for just $29.99. If you're a Verizon Fios TV customer with Fios Internet, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. A lot of campers in the ballpark today. Sections of the ballpark, blue shirts, orange, green, yellow. That's the M camp.
You say you were a camper, didn't you? No?
I camped on the asphalt of the Bronx.
Oh, yeah, playing curveball and stickball. We learned about that yesterday.
And Skelzy. Looped into left field. That is going to be a base hit. Just eludes the diving try of Nix. So a base hit for Bettamy. That gives him a 6-game hitting streak. Speaking of Cincinnati, did you see Marty Brennaman?
Oh, my. Yeah, I saw.
Marty Brennaman, their longtime announcer, said that if the Reds would go on a 10-game winning streak, that he was going to shave his head. And they went on a 10-game winning streak.
Did he actually do it?
He said he had to do a taping of something first, but he was going to do it. So I don't know if it's done yet.
Because Marty's pretty proud about it.
Yeah, he's got nice hair.
His moss up there, you know. Actually, when I was there before, there was the same thing. There was a radio announcer. It's Marty's lookalike right now. And Andy Furman was his name, and the same thing. We're going to shave our head. This was in 1990. We were going through a streak, and I actually was part of that. Helping shave the head.
I think right before he got to the Yankees, they were going through a real tough stretch in their time. And Gene Monahan said that if the team won 5 games in a row, he'd shave his head. And they won 5 games in a row. The 5th game was the day before the team left on a West Coast run, and they shaved his head on the plane.
It's probably dry, just a big razor.
And then Bob Guerin, who's now the Met bench coach for Terry Collins, was a backup catcher on the Yankees, said, "You guys collect some money, I'll shave my head." And I think they got like a couple thousand together. And Gene Monahan said, "Wait, I did it for nothing," and he got $2,000. And Bob Guerin shaved his head. And here's the details, Paul. Marty Brennaman will shave his head live on the field after the Friday, August 3rd game against the Pirates at Great American Ballpark if fans donate $20,000 or more to the Reds Community Fund.
Oh, now we got stipulations here. See, Marty? It is helping charity, but you know what? It'll be a big series.
Can you believe that's going to be a big series? Reds, Pirates, amazing. Good for baseball.
The Reds part really doesn't surprise me nearly as much as the Pirates. And by the way, what happened with Burnett last night? He had no hitter. How long?
2 outs in the 8th.
2 outs in the 8th.
Mark Reynolds pops it up. And a Nice try by Andrew Jones, but couldn't get there. What will get you to shave your head, Paul?
That kind of stuff just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. Maybe you first.
2-2. Hammered down the left field line. It is a base hit. Cutting over is Ichiro. He's going to have to play it off the wall. Bettamy is rounding third. He'll stop right there. And the Orioles have runners on second and third and one man out.
You know, it's so funny to me because you see scouting reports, you know what you want to do. Reynolds has had a pretty good series, and it's all been on sliders. We're going to get this guy out with sliders, but you see what happens. You got to throw good sliders. That ball is just hanging out over the plate. Again, he hammers a double down the line. You can know what to pitch, but you have to execute a good pitch to get these guys out. And Reynolds has been hitting a lot of sliders, but they haven't been good ones.
That almost explains what you just said. It almost explains the comments, which seem so strange and odd, of Ivan Nova after the game yesterday. He thought that he pitched well. He got a couple of bad breaks. He said he had good stuff, and he was throwing strikes, which he had not done against Seattle. And you raise your eyebrows, you go, good stuff. But it does tell you, Paul, you can throw strikes. They might be bad strikes.
Yeah,
that was a strike that Mark Reynolds just hit.
Exactly. And if Ivan Nova went back and watched film, which he probably will, he'll see some of those sliders that were actually, in his mind, decent sliders, strikes, that didn't have sharp break on him. And again, he just had an off night. He's a good pitcher. I love this guy when he takes the mound. Last night just wasn't his night because he didn't have his good slider and he could not locate his fastball.
Rough month of July after a great month of June. And Joe Girardi saw Nova's performance in a complete opposite light that Nova did. He knew that, they were not great pitches and the breaking ball wasn't there, and he didn't have to command of the fastball either. Yankees play the infield back with a runner on third and one out. The 1-2 to Chavez. Grounded to first. McGehee steps on the bag, and scoring is Bettamy. Reynolds moves to third. Orioles on the board. It's 2-1 Yanks.
That's a really important bat. It looks like just a ground out, but you're in a strikeout situation. You're not an everyday player. Chavez got a pretty good curveball there and put it in play, and you can see it was almost like he aimed that bat just to put it in play. It's not kind of a full swing, just kind of aim it, put it in play, ground ball. McGehee gets his first play over there, but you get a run in, and that's the big thing. Scoring that first run sometimes is the hardest thing to do as a team.
Quintanilla takes outside, and you could tell that the Orioles appreciated what Chavez just did because Buck Showalter reached out to congratulate him. It wasn't just a ground out. They saw what Paul just saw as well. Quintanilla with a 7-game hitting streak. He's 12 for 26 during that time. And it's right.
Average over 300, and if he's hit some balls hard, he's also hit some balls off the end of the bat. It seems like everything he's putting in play right now is finding a hole. Fun time to hit.
Orioles, if they win this game, and Paul and I discussed this stat before the game, we were shocked. They would sweep the Yankees. They have not swept the Yankees in a 3-game set in the Bronx since June 6th, 7th, and 8th of 1986. 26 years ago. The 1-2. 2-2.
And you see guys that are swinging the bat well, and you talked out. The reason they're swinging bat is they take that pitch. That pitch right there is a strikeout pitch, and if you're a little anxious, you'll swing at that pitch. Now you've given yourself another chance, got back into the count 2-2, where you should see something good to hit. Phil Hughes is probably going to go back inside.
On the outside, the count 3-2.
The change up away. You know, guys who foul off and take good pitches, you know, they do put a little bit of pressure on the pitcher to make another quality pitch. And the more chances you give yourself as a hitter, you'll see something to hit.
Fly ball. Just to the left of dead center. Curtis Granderson's there, and that'll do it. But the Orioles get on the board. 1 run, 2 hits. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the second, and we'll see Casey McGehee leading off. AMS to strike out blood cancer. All guests in attendance receive a special red Yankees cap, and they're encouraged to just stop by any Delete blood cancer swab station throughout the stadium to swab and register. With a simple swab of your cheek, you have the power to save the life of someone with blood cancer. So come out to Yankee Stadium on August 4th and get swabbed and help delete blood cancer. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Yankees lead this one 2-1. And now Casey McGehee will come up to the plate. His first at bat as a Yankee. The Yankees got him yesterday for Chad Qualls from the Pittsburgh Pirates. He can play first. He can play third. This season with the Pirates, 230, 8 home runs, and 35 runs batted in. He had some really good seasons with the Milwaukee Brewers. Likes to go the other way, so he's really suited for this stadium. Gritty player. Willie Randolph, who was a coach with the Brewers, said he's a gamer. Goes all out all the time, always prepared. Kind of a type A sort of player, an energy guy. Born in California, drafted by the Cubs in the 10th round in 03. 5 big league seasons, Cubs, Brewers, and Pirates. And look at the 2010 year with the Brewers. 23 homers and 104 ribbies. All of those career highs.
Some impressive numbers for a guy that you know, you just pick up at the trade deadline. And a lot of people don't talk about. I mean, this guy's capable of doing some things offensively. Can fill in a few positions for you.
And there's a strike count, 3-1. Got to be some nerves involved. He hasn't had much sleep, he told Meredith Morakovitz, and some of it's excitement, some of it trying to get everything done, move to a new place. And he walks. Paul, you were fortunate enough you were never traded in the middle of the season. You got traded from the Reds to the Yankees during the offseason. That must be a bear.
Well, it's got to be unbelievable, because I can remember just being called up to the major leagues, how much of a rush it is to get everything together. And usually by then, guys in the major leagues have families, wives, things that you have to take care of, apartments to close up, homes, cars, and it's not as simple as it sounds. The easy part is right here when you have a uniform on and then you're out on the field.
It's his high to Suzuki. Ichiro with an 8-game hitting streak, and he has a hit per game. First player in Yankee franchise history to record exactly 1 hit in each of his first 8 games for the team. Alex Rodriguez actually had a vitamin hitting streak, one a day this year from June 7th to 15th. He had an 8-gamer. No Yankee has had a hitting streak of 9 straight with just 1 hit a game since Roberto Kelly in 1991. Popped up. And out of play. And Roberto Kelly was part of the deal that brought Paul O'Neill to the New York Yankees.
He went to Cincinnati and became Bobby.
Yeah, now he's
Bobby.
Roberto Kelly again.
He's back
as the first base coach for the Giants.
See, we do that in Cincinnati. We got guys that call Chad Ochocinco. We just change names whenever we want.
That's right. Yeah. Now Chad Ochocinco is back to Chad Johnson.
That's right. That's what happened.
Must be in the water at Cincy.
You got bad water too. I never did understand it. They say that's why the pizza crust and the bread is so good in New York, because of the water.
The water's phenomenal. Tap water is unbelievable.
Tap water? I mean, how do you spell water? I mean,
you going to start with me with an accent?
Yeah, let's go. Bring it on.
Because we have brought up the point that Cincinnati is a short little swim from Kentucky.
You know what happens? That the tide in the Ohio River is so bad, if you try to swim to Kentucky, it blows you all the way to Indiana.
The 2-1. Driven to right field. Marquette is back. He's on the track. And he'll make the play in front of the scoreboard for the first out. Ichiro flirting with his second Yankee home run.
Ichiro's going to understand this Yankee Stadium, and some of these balls you can turn on. He might be looking to pull a little bit more than he did in Seattle, but that ball right there, you see, kind of holding that, thinking maybe he got it. Ball kind of up out of the strike zone, and you see just didn't quite click it. Got it on the right part of the bat, but didn't hit it square. Problem with that is, you know, you bring Ichiro over here to try to get a guy that, you know, can steal some bases and get on base. The last thing you want him to do is to try to become a pull hitter and try to hit some home runs for this team.
That one gets away from Wieters, and McGehee will head to second, and he will make it. Also took out Quintanilla there. So McGehee advances on the wild pitch. Well, they say we pass ball on him.
Wieters comes up throwing. He goes in there. Quintanilla's staying in there to try to. Oh my! See, the spikes are up. Ty Cobb in the old days with the spikes up, huh?
And Ty Cobb, if you read the stories, used to sharpen the spikes too, just to make it a little more dangerous. Nix takes low.
Into the leg.
Ooh. He ripped the pants, that's for sure. Did you wear metal spikes, Paul, or did you wear the rubber ones?
You really have to on natural fields. I mean, you wore BP spikes, but unless you were on turf, if you're on the natural field, you had to wear metal spikes. Riverfront Stadium was turf, and you know you get real comfortable with kind of the plastic bottom spikes, but you know you can see those are they've kind of changed the spike pattern on a lot of shoes now to make it more comfortable. They used to have a big problem with one of the spikes was right on the ball of your foot. It caused a lot of problems, and they've kind of spread them out to help players.
Just foul. Did you have any teammates that used to sharpen their spikes?
No, I never heard that. You did have, you know, it's funny because you have a certain amount of things, and you had a pair of game spikes, and you see those are, you can like rubberize and try to pad your feet a little bit. You see a lot of the plastic spikes there, catchers going with, but you know, you had a pair of spikes for your everyday spikes, and then you had a pair that were mudders that, you know, on rainy nights you would change because, you know, it basically ruined the spikes. And
2-2 to Nix. Line drive, a base hit to center field. McGehee rounds third. They're going to hold him up. Adam Jones comes up throwing. Ball cut off by Reynolds. A single for Nix. And the Yankees have runners on the corners and one out.
what, Nix, the more you see him and the more he gets at bats, the better at bats there are. You know, he stays right in there. He's compact. He drives it up the middle. He's a guy, again, that, you know, you hope doesn't want to become a home run hitter because he's on a home run team. This is the kind of swing he has. He can drive the ball up the middle. Find a niche there, you know, where he's hitting lefties well. And I tell you what, if you can get it in your mind that you're really successful at that one thing, you can help a team. Andrew Jones is kind of in the same boat where, you know, he's become very successful at having good at-bats against left-handed pitchers.
Here's Derek Jeter. Derek's having a really good year, but one of the few negatives in his game is he's hitting too many double plays this year. 16 as he fouls it back, but that's still not the top in the American League. Miguel Cabrera of the Tigers is grounded into 20. Joe Mauer of the Twins 19. Howie Kendrick of the Angels is tied with Jeter with 16.
You know, Miguel Cabrera and Derek Jeter were number 1 and 2 in hits in the All-American League. I mean, they put the ball in play. Derek, he gets a lot of infield hits, but, you know, a lot of infield hits are ground balls that turn into double plays sometimes.
Derek has 134 hits, and Miguel Cabrera now 132. Cano is third with 125. Derek had 3 hits last night, and that was his 275th career game with 3 or more hits. And that leads all active players. Today is his 2,528th career game. Ties him with Ernie Banks for 10th amongst players who only played with one team. 2-2.
Jeter's going to hack at that one again. Ernie Banks. You ever met Ernie Banks?
I think I have met him, yes.
Likeable guy.
Yes.
One of those guys, you know, let's play too. I mean, that was his attitude. Just happy to be out there. About some emergency hacks last night that Jeet gave just to foul pitches off you can't do anything with. We got another one today. See, the ball's kind of by you, but you can't. It's too close to take. And then you kind of duck and hope that you don't hit somebody in the stands. But you can't aim it. Believe me, when you're swinging that bat, you can't aim it. Got people hitting the deck over there, taking orders over there with balls flying over her head. Talked about Brown. I mean, Britton, he's a ground ball pitcher, so you really got to be careful as a hitter. You obviously you got 2 strikes here, but you want to look for something up in the zone. You don't hit on the ground.
Hits that one on the ground and through for a base hit. McGehee scores. Jason Nix goes to third. Derek Jeter with an RBI single, and the Yankees lead 3-1.
You see, the difference in this pitch is it was up in the zone, and you can kind of shoot it the other way. It's not a sinker that you kind of beat into the ground. Kind of got beat inside, but that's Derek Jeter. That's it when he's at his best. He pulls his hands in and just hits it to right. Good base running by Nix. Going to force the issue. This ball's supposed to be down, and it's up and in. Derek can bring his hands in and get the barrel on it.
Rick Adair, the pitching coach, comes out and talks with Zach Britton. Follow the Yankees with the MLB.com @BAT12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details.
You see Derek Jeter kind of laughing. You can tell what he's talking about with hitting that foul ball so late over there. But you know what that did? He's telling Reynolds it got him another pitch. And what happened on that next pitch, you know, he had ended for a base hit. So, you know, if you don't foul that really tough pitch off from a pitcher, you don't get that opportunity on the next one.
Granderson hits a home run in the first inning, takes outside and checks his swing, according to Darryl Cousins.
Granderson hit a fastball right down the middle of the plate. So you see Britton, he doesn't forget. He leads him off with a breaking ball. And make sure that the fastball is in and the breaking balls are away. Curtis had a tough night last night striking out on it, and they were all on off-speed breaking balls. You'd be surprised if he didn't have a good fastball to hit the rest of the day.
His home run in the first inning means the Yankees have homered at least once in each of the last 20 home games.
There's the tough one right there. That to me is a pitch that if Britton can kind of master that two-seamer in on the hands of lefties, there's not much you can do with it. You can't get the barrel out because it keeps coming in on you, so he can pull his hands in there. Can't keep it fair. And if he can master that pitch, he's not going to have any problems with the lefties. Same pitch right there. And then it really gets you open enough to try to cover it, and that's where that slider, just you can bury that slider away.
This will be the 25th pitch of the inning.
Well, he backed up the slider, the two-seamers inside. I would imagine he's going to back up the slider away and try to throw this one for a strike. He tried to get the strike out in the dirt. It's like he's going back inside again.
Swing and a miss. Granderson down on strikes.
Yeah, that's a good pitch. Just a good job by Wieters behind the plate, because it seemed like he was giving the outside target with a slider. He couldn't throw it for a strike, but you see this ball ends up on the outside part of the plate anyway by just giving him that inside target with a breaking ball. Michael, you know what? I'm not even going to mention it, but it is drizzling out there.
Where? I don't see it.
I'm not going to mention it.
Well, I do see some umbrellas popping up. Well,
I forgot. I forgot, Michael. You can't see. You wear glasses. You don't have them on. You can't see the rain.
Wait a second. I only wear glasses to read. I'm sorry, I'm not Superman.
Well,
like
I'll tell you one thing. You're not reading the raindrops right now.
Guy doesn't wear glasses, has a 32-inch waist, makes me sick.
So in other words, I make you sick. Huh?
Not in other words, in those. Here's the 1-0. There's a strike. Now I see him, Paul.
It might be hail if you see him. Nick Swisher, if you think about it, you know, we would take 6 or 7 days off, and then he's come back and he's had good at bats. A lot of players, it's a little adjustment period to get back, and he stepped right back in and has been hitting the ball well.
One, two.
Tough pitch there, Britton. I mean, he came in, must have just missed the inside corner.
Still 2-2.
Talk about it over and over again. These 2-out hits can really, really break the back of a pitcher. These are big at-bats as a player.
There's a base hit for Nick Swisher. Jason Nick scores. Jeter moves to second. An RBI single for Swisher. He's 2 for 2. And the Yankees now lead 4-1.
See, he got the breaking ball there, kind of a slider, a hard slider, and he got the barrel out. And Swisher swinging the bat really, really well. And it's a big at bat right there, driving in a 2-out run. Last night was a good reminder. You know, if you're the Yankees, you got to continue to score runs. I mean, you thought that game was completely under control last night early with a 5-0 lead, and all of a sudden you look up and it's tied, and now you're down 3. And the Orioles are playing good baseball right now, and again, they've got to be hungry because they're in the middle of that wild card race where they have to win as many games as they can.
Cano with an infield single in the first inning. 1-1. That's a good pitch.
Certainly is, and that again is that two-seamer that he's the last couple innings he had control against the lefties. Granderson early in the game, he got one out over the middle, but see, that ball ends up down and in off the plate. All it is the grip, and being able to turn that ball over. You get that spin where it kind of just dives into a lefty.
Good breaking ball, 1-2, although Matt Wieters wants to go out and talk with Britton.
I think he's going to tell him, you know, I see that outside corner, you better get it out there. That ball ended up in the middle of the plate.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
As a hitter, you see Robbie, you get enough water on the biliary cap where it starts dripping down, and it drives you crazy because you're trying to concentrate on the baseball and the pitcher. That's what you can do with those two-seamers there. And this has been a tough at-bat. This is one of those at-bats I'm waiting to see if he gets a pitch to hit, because he's throwing breaking balls and these two-seamers that are in off the plate. Hasn't had a good pitch to hit in this sequence the whole time.
Buck was in a good mood before the game. His daughter, Allie, is getting married in February, so he's happy about that. And time flies when he was the manager here, running around 4 or 5 years old. He wasn't, she was.
They kind of peeked in there to tell him hello and say I probably wouldn't see him the rest of the year. Good luck. And he was saying that, you know, all the old media was in there earlier. It was almost back like 1994. And I said, oh, so you were telling him that you were going to get me started, or I was struggling or something?
I was in there with John Heyman and Joel Sherman and Bill Madden and Susan Waldman, so it was 1994 all over again. You sit with Buck Showalter for about an hour, and you're going to learn stuff.
You're going to hear some stories.
Yes, you are.
Cheerleader back there as the umpire trying to get this game moving. Long at bat. Robbie's had some tough pitches.
And he's worked the count to 3-2. "39 pitches here in the second inning, 57 overall." Getting busy in the Oriole bullpen. Runners will go, 3-2, 2 outs. And the at-bat continues. Ball was fouled right back. A gentleman is holding what I assume to be maybe his year-old son in his lap. He's got an umbrella there, and he used the umbrella to shield the kid from the baseball, and it all worked perfectly. And Britton will win that battle. And that'll do it. But the Yankees scored 2 more runs on 3 hits, 2 men left. We've played 2 at the stadium. Yankees 4, Orioles 1. I'm coming down. Well, Phil Hughes has a 4-1 lead on the Lincoln scoreboard. 4-6-0 Yankees, 1-3-0 O's. Rain continues to fall here at the stadium. And if it continues to fall at this rate, we're going to have a muddy track. And once you commit to playing in this rain, you're going to commit to playing throughout unless it gets heavier, and then they could decide to put the tarp on.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you're a player and you're out on the field.
Markakis continues his hot hitting. 7th hit against the Yankees in this set.
You would rather play through this than take a break and come back and get loose again. You know, once you've started the game as a player, you know, you play through it. And obviously, unless the thunder and lightning come in.
Now, in the old days in the rain, where the fields didn't drain as well, Paul, you must have been miserable out and right, because that's where they always dump the water.
I never understood it. I mean, it was never left field. It was never center. Just throw it out and right. They stink out there anyway, right? So, I mean, even from Little League, they belittled the right fielder. You know, the kid who couldn't play, they just stick him in right field, right? What's up with that?
He's a pretty athletic right fielder, and he wears 21.
Let's see if things have changed. J.J. Hardy, again, we talked about he's been away this whole series when he drove the ball to right center. See if they mix it up a little bit. ball kind of was supposed to be away, but ran in and kind of tied him up. Was it last year or the year before? The Orioles made a decision. They were going to sign him to a pretty long deal and decided to keep him.
Line drive right field. Blocked there by Jones. He went down to try to catch it, but knocked it down to keep it in front of him. And first and second, nobody out. You're talking about Hardy?
Yeah.
Yeah, they signed him to a 3-year deal.
Last year?
Yeah, it was last year.
And I think that was really the start of the Orioles. And you see again, right off the end of the bat, Andrew Jones does a good job of keeping this ball in front of him. There is a point as an outfielder, you're like, uh-oh, I'm not going to get to it. And then it becomes just a defensive play of keeping the ball in front of you. Kind of strange. You've got Andrew Jones in right field who's not used to playing there, and you got Ichiro in left who's not used to playing there. But you know, I think Joe Girardi wants to get him out there as much as you can, get him used to when Swisher gets back out to right field.
And Joe was asked about it before the game, and the reason he gave, you can understand. He obviously thinks that Ichiro is a better outfielder at this point than Andrew Jones. They both have 10 Gold Gloves. There's one. And they double up Chris Davis as Marquez moves to third. But he just feels that Ichiro has more range and left field is bigger. He said, and when Nick is ready to play right field, which he is now, he said, I'm going to put him in right field, and Ichiro's going to have to play left anyway. And Phil Hughes is a fly ball pitcher. Today's the day I want him out there.
The question is, Michael, if we're making up our lineup card, do we think of all these things?
I probably would, but I would probably keep Ichiro in right because I know he's most comfortable there, and I'd put him there when he has to be moved. But I understood Joe's reasoning. Also, Joe was asked today, was there ever any consideration given to moving Swisher to left because he's played left field in his major league career in the regular season and keeping Ichiro on right? And he quickly said, not in this ballpark. So he thinks Ichiro has more range than him. Fouled away.
And you know, a lot of games come down to one run or play made here or there, especially in the playoffs. And defense becomes a lot more important than it does over the course of the year, where you know you can give up a couple outs here or there and miss out slug people, but you cannot give up extra runs. And if you can make good plays in left field here in Yankee Stadium, you can save a lot of runs.
Well, that was a nice play by Martin that just saved a run. And it's not going to show up in any box score, but watch this play.
Well, again, that was a breaking ball. And when those, you know, breaking balls don't, you know, hit like a fastball usually kind of skips, where a breaking ball has that spin on it. So it kind of bounces in a different way.
2-2 to Adam Jones.
And Nick Swisher got a big 2-out hit in this situation last inning, and that's what the Orioles were able to do in the first couple games of this series. See if Phil Hughes can put an end to that. Talked a lot about Adam Jones and how good of a player he is and what he does for this team. And, you know, he's your center fielder. Now you have him hitting fourth. And you think the type of player he would be on a team where he complemented other great players. I mean, you put a lot upon a young guy to come out and, you know, build a team around him. And if he was in a different situation where he could just add to it.
That one is line to left. And Ichiro, with his first try, puts it away for the final out of the third. Orioles don't score. Paul scored on his grub crawl. More of that when we come back. He's been eaten all over this stadium. Where is he next? We'll find out on Yes.
One of my favorites, I'll tell you right now. So I'm going to have ice cream in a Yankee helmet. Just vanilla with chocolate, all right?
Ice cream with chocolate sprinkles?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you want a lot of sprinkles or if you want a whole lot or if you want little sprinkles.
Give me a little sprinkle.
All right.
Oh, hey, sorry about that.
That's okay.
This is one of my favorites, Carvel. So it's about enough for today, but I'm sure we'll do it again.
You're unbelievable. I mean, how many people in New York City could reach? It's not self-serve. You're putting your spoon in the sprinkles.
He wanted a little help. He was telling me, you know.
People have been
place is
thrown
awesome.
out of this place because of that. My goodness.
I might be getting escorted out here soon because of that, Michael. Thanks for bringing that up.
You do love your Carvel.
Oh, I'm like obsessed with it here. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big fan of cotton candy.
Me neither. No.
Can't do it. Well, you're not a big fan of anything. You've got the menu in your house has got like 4 things on it, with no side dishes, huh? You don't even know what to say over there.
I like broccoli.
Yeah.
Count 2-1. This guy's digging in. He's even going the chopstick route too. He's eating it legitimately. Cool looking Yankee lid on. Jones swings and misses 2-2. Strike 3. Jones down looking.
You know what the problem on that call was? Is there was a little hesitation, and as a hitter, you think you got away with it, and there's a kind of a late call. See the hesitation there, and a late call, and then you think he missed it. Wait. All right, I'm still in the. Oh, now I'm out of here.
It seems worse in slow motion. Alan Porter, the home plate umpire. What? Strike.
Wow. I mean, Russell Martin is shaking his head there. That's that low pitch, that two-seamer that continues to dive, and it ends up low, out of the zone. Tell you what, if you're Britton, you just keep throwing it lower before it hits the dirt, right?
Pretty good indication of how much Showalter wants this game. Matt Wieters right back behind the plate, day game after night game.
I think Wieters has had some good at-bats lately, and I think Buck is thinking, here's a guy, if I can get going offensively, is really going to help me. And I've been really impressed the games he's called here. Does a good job behind the plate.
And the Yankees with Martin, day game after night game behind the plate. But he did not play on Monday. Three-two. He walked.
Alan Porter likes the low strike and not the high strike. The borderline high strikes are not being called, and the borderline low strikes are. So, as a hitter and a pitcher, you've got to adjust.
Here's Casey McGehee. Casey, when he was with the Pirates, was sporting a beard, and that's not allowed here. And he shaved his beard and shaved what was stubble was on his head as well. His Pittsburgh teammates wanted to see him shave it in front of them. He refused to give them the satisfaction, and he was asked by a reporter, did the MLB Network contact you like they did Jose Reyes to ask if he'd shave on the air? And McGehee said, I don't think they had enough viewers to watch that. Reyes might be able to pull that off. I don't think they want to watch a chubby white guy shave his beard. And there's the beard that he shaved off.
Just taking a beating back there. Britton has been in the dirt time and time again. Life as a catcher.
McGehee was asked if it was tough shaving the beard. He said, it's just facial hair. It's not like I was going to win any beauty pageants with or without it. I'm just excited. All joking aside, I'm just excited to be here. I'll do whatever it takes. Shaving my beard is the least of my concerns. And he walks. So 2 walks today.
I'll be kind of anxious to see what his first at bat's going to be. He's had 2 plate appearances, both of them ending up in walks.
Here's Ichiro with runners on first and second and 1 out. Leaders wants to have a talk with Britton. This game's moving right along, Paul.
Yeah, I think the raindrops have slowed it down. But you know what? These teams, for some reason, end up playing long games. But, you know, the first 2 games, like last night, you're off to an unbelievable start. The first inning was like 40 seconds, and the next thing you know, there's 13 runs in the first 2 innings. So it's these teams like to go at it.
Keep it away from Ichiro.
Look, I mean, you look at why a game goes slow, and then you look up, you've got 75 pitches, and you're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So, you know, it's just a lot of long counts, a lot of foul balls, a lot of walks.
You know, if you watch Ichiro bat, his whole bottom half is bailing out. And I talked to Lou Piniella about this, Paul. He said the reason he's still able to, he said, I never teach hitting this way. He said the bottom half is bailing out, but his hands stay back. His hands are not bailing out. Have you ever seen anybody hit like this?
No, and again, you would never teach this because his eye-hand contact in his prime was probably second to none, because with that much movement, it just makes it hard. I mean, you see this part's going this way, this part's going that way. This part's going now. He's going all over the place, and with that much movement, it's really hard to keep your eyes level on the baseball.
It's amazing he's able to accomplish what he's accomplished. And also, he gets to first base a lot quicker than others because he's moving there as he's swinging. But somehow he keeps his hands in his hitting zone while the body's not. Driven out to right center field. Adam Jones on the run, going back, still back, and he makes the play. Takes an extra base hit away from Ichiro as the runners retreat.
I think Adam Jones might even stretch his back there. I mean, he reached over, he arched his back so much. I mean, it's a great play over your back shoulder. But you see the ball kind of moved at the end. Ichiro's hit a couple balls hard. Neither run have carried today. It's a kind of an awkward way of catching a ball.
His backside is not in that batter's box.
Yeah, you know, I think that both times you saw those swings, he thought he got those balls over the outfielder's head. Just one of those days where the ball doesn't seem to be carrying.
Jason Nix with a fly ball to deep left. Going back is Chavez. Still back. It's going to be over his head and bounce into the bullpen for a double. Martin scores. McGehee will head back to third. It's an RBI for Nix, who's now 2 for 2, and the Yankees lead 5-1.
You know, Ichiro's ball got run down, and this ball sounded like it was almost off the end of the bat. Yeah. And that before, but see, all of a sudden, boy, I'll tell you what, it's like the sun comes out. It's a ground rule double.
He did not think he got it at all.
No, I think Chavez was playing him extremely shallow because that ball ended up hitting on the warning track.
Well, Buck Showalter coldly and efficiently takes the ball from Britton. He will go to his bullpen. He's down by 4. Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Buck Showalter makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. Kevin Gregg comes on. Gregg was actually signed before last year as a closer and just did not do the job, but now in a lesser role, the numbers are much better. As Jim Johnson has transitioned to the closer position. It's a big at bat here for Jeter. Second and third, 2 outs. You get this one. All of a sudden, it's 7-1. Has a different feel to it. Yankees were up 5-0 after 1 inning yesterday. They didn't hold on, so nothing is a gimme. They have a 4-game losing streak. And along with the Reds and the Rays, they're the only teams in baseball that have not had at least a 5-game losing streak this year. Pitch is low from Gregg.
Thought it was a pretty good time to hit. When they got wet, infielders don't have it quite as good footing. Outfielders can't pick up a wet ball and throw it as well. So you're really in an advantage when you're hitting when you know it's rained and you're playing on a muddy track, so to speak.
That one is looped into left center. It's going to dunk in for a base hit. That'll score 2 runs. A 2-run single for Jeter. He's got 3 ribbies on the day, and the Yankees have a 7-1 lead.
Derek Jeter's really had a good series. He's put together good at-bats. And this ball, you know, with that approach of going the other way, it's off speed. He stays through it. Loops it to center field. Big hit. 2 RBIs. Some things don't change, Michael. Some guys just keep getting hits. You know that?
He's been doing it since '95. Full time since '96. Granderson hammers one foul. Paul, I'm going to do some math for you because I know you like this. This game is on pace for a 4-hour and 30-minute performance.
you know what? We play 4.5 hours. I'll just go help you do the radio show. There's nothing else to do. The day's gone, right?
That's a base hit to center field for Granderson. So first and second. And Greg comes in and immediately serves up 2 singles. One to Jeter and one to Granderson.
And this is a good sign for the Yankees. I mean, to have the big inning is one thing, but to have continuous, you keep tacking on runs over and over again, that's good. It's like the sun just came out, Michael. Things just livened up here in the booth. You know that?
You said you like Carvel, and now it's like an ice cream factory in here. I mean, come on.
It's got Michael's name in it.
No, it doesn't.
You know what it was? Is I told him we don't have the Yankee helmets here, so we just send a couple extra Yankee helmets up here. They just happen to fill them up with ice cream.
Now, do you like the rainbow sprinkles?
No,
or do you like the chocolate?
The kids like the rainbow sprinkles. They're big fans.
Our friends at Legends Catering sent that up. You're going to have to kill those 4 helmets there. Too many carbs in the ice cream for me.
Oh. You and your carbs.
All right, I'll have some. And Swisher walks, and the bases are now loaded.
Buck Showalter trying to figure out what can I do now. I've gone to the pen, and my pen hasn't been successful either. So it'll be a tough day for the Orioles as far as managing your pitching.
Here's Cano. Infield single in the first, grounded to second in the second. So 3 at bats. And it's only the 3rd inning. There's a strike. This year with the bases loaded, Cano has struggled a bit, 2 for 16, but he does have a grand slam and has driven in 9 runs. 4 with 1 swing. There's a strike. Phil Hughes is getting the run counter today. 7 runs. And we're only in the 3rd inning.
Well, Robbie's usually a really aggressive hitter, and you see sometimes that he makes up his mind he's going to take some pitches. Now he took 2 strikes, and then this is what happens when you kind of go against what you do naturally, and then you start swinging at pitches out of the zone. This is intentionally a ball out of the zone. Roddy's good enough hitter to foul it off.
One and 2. That one's drilled deep to right field. There it goes. See ya! A grand slam for Cano. And the Yankees have broken it open. It's 11-1.
Robbie knew what he was doing. He set him up, take the fastballs, and get to a breaking ball count. He tried to throw a slider in, and it just kind of hung with a flick of the wrist. Those hanging sliders this series have all ended up in the seats.
Let's take a look at the Coors Light Cold Hard Glass.
Well, it's a good feeling when you know you've got it timed and you see that extension. Just a picture-perfect swing. That RBI total, Michael, just went up with bases loaded.
Jones fouls it off. He's in a nice pop.
Let that happen. You hit home runs, you get a cool pop.
Yankees have 8 grand slams, the most in Major League Baseball this year. As Jones down on strikes, he strikes out twice in the inning, but the Yankees put a 7 spot on the board in the 3rd. We go to the 4th. It's 11-1 Bombers. Hey, it's time for the New York State Smokers Quitline Quiz. That's who we got today. Jim Palmer won 186 games during the 1970s, the most in the American League. Who were the only other 2 American League pitchers to win at least 140 games that decade? I think I know one. But we'll find out for sure in the bottom of the 4th. Watching the Yankees through the raindrops. And the Yankees have been raining runs here as they lead 11-1, trying to salvage the final game of this 3-game set.
I think I know one of those too, Mike.
He's oblivious right now.
She worked the first couple innings and 2-0. Time you got to braid the elements, Michael, right?
I mean, that's a guy who's secured his masculinity. He's got his Minnie Mouse umbrella up, and he's not bothered by it at all. It was either that or the Star Wars one.
I can't laugh. My picture's about the women's restroom here, you know.
11-1 Yankees. So now Phil Hughes is thinking, let's get through 5 here. And Robbie Cano with a grand slam. Let's get through 5 here because 5 makes it official. And all the numbers count. Rain is in the forecast throughout the day. They've been playing through a fairly steady rain since the 2nd inning. It's only the 4th inning, but game moving slowly. Matt Wieters.
A lot of game news. Does it rain a lot around here, or is it just when I come in?
I think it's just when you come in.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's been a pretty good summer. Yankees don't have any games to make up. Last year they had them backed up. There were so many rains. 1-1 as Wieters leads off. Then Betamete and Reynolds.
It's the time as a pitcher, you look at the scoreboard and you just throw strikes. You pump good strikes in there. You work on your fastball. Just absolutely continue to put pressure on the hitters. Make them hit the ball. Every once in a while that pine tar gets wet in the rain and it'll slip. Hurt your wrist, it kind of snaps off the bat. Just continually pumping fastballs in there, and when he keeps them in on the hands, he's got no problem.
That one is slapped into center field, and Granderson is going to play it on a hop. So base hit for Weeders. This is a great day to be in the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar. And there's a shot of the place situated in center field. The Mohegan Sun Sports Bar is a great place to gather and enjoy the game and stay dry.
Half those people are supposed to be awake.
Now they're in trouble because we just showed them. Here's Betamete. Pitch outside.
Places I haven't been in the stadium. That's one of them. I need to get out there and just see the view out there one of these days. Been in the New York Steakhouse, beautiful there. Most of the other restaurants.
Now, Paul, is it true that you were in the Legends restaurant yesterday and you scared somebody who was wearing an O'Neill jersey?
Yeah, it was fun. I took my son down there actually, and Montross was nice enough to let them eat down there.
Broken bat looper into right field, a base hit for Betamete.
And somebody was sitting there with with a 21 jersey on, and I just happened to walk by, and all of a sudden I just tapped him on the shoulder, and he didn't see me. Tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Nice jersey," and just kept walking, and he kind of double take things, and then he double taked again and said, "Hey," and I was on my way up here to do a thing.
So 2 bloopers, and the Orioles have runners on first and second, and nobody out here in the 4th inning. Yankees lead the O's 11-1.
Again, the Baltimore Orioles, I mean, you could tell they came in not swinging the bats very well to this series, but this series, up and down the lineup, they're putting the ball in play, and it's just frustrating. You want to go out, you want to have quick innings, your team is scoring you a lot of runs, you want to get outs quick. Phil Hughes is throwing strikes, giving up 2 broken bat hits. There's not much you can do.
Count 2-1 to Reynolds. Reynolds with a double in the second inning.
We see Joba today, Michael? I mean, I would think you would want to keep him in a rotation where he's continually throwing, right?
And tomorrow's an off day. Yesterday was supposed to be a throw day for him. Maybe, because the rest of the bullpen was used a lot. See how far Hughes goes. Popped up. McGehee goes back. Coming in is Jones. And Jones makes the play for the first out. Orioles are right in the middle of it for the wild card, a game and a half behind the A's. The A's essentially tied with the Angels. Angels have one more win, one more game. And the West is really interesting. And the Angels are really starting to jump on the Rangers as well. Rangers acquired Ryan Dempster to try to bolster their starting staff, but the Angels are pretty good right now. Albert Pujols is hitting. Trout looks like he might be winning a Rookie of the Year.
You look on the other side, Texas Ranger, Josh Hamilton going through a slump that you never think he could go through. Just not hitting at all. But they added a pitcher, so you know it's always interesting to see the guys that come in. Will Greinke do well with the Angels? Dempster do well with the Rangers?
Granderson and left center makes the play for the second out. The West is really better than a lot of us thought it was going to be. The Mariners are on a little bit of a winning streak right now, and they're 8 games under 500 after winning 6 games in a row. They'll come in this weekend against the Yankees. But look at the Rangers, Angels, and A's. 3.5 games separate them.
That's really the only surprise. I mean, nobody expected the Athletics to be there, and all of a sudden you see the Yankees playing as well as they did right after there, and the next thing you know, they go out and lose 4 in a row to the Athletics. So their pitching gives them a chance. They've got some young guys that are getting some big hits, and you know, you get young teams that starting to believe they can win, and it's you know, it's exciting to watch. It's a different kind of a feeling as a fan when you're watching a team that's supposed to win, that wins continually. The Yankees, you expect them to win, but then there's those teams that come up every year that just come from nowhere, and Oakland to this point just came from nowhere.
And I also think for the fan base, if it's not expected, there's more excitement, and I think you live that. In '94, Yankees hadn't won in so long, and then the strike hit, but '95, that late run, you get into the wild card, the first wild card, and then it started after that. And the newness made it all so exciting. Fouled away.
Really went that through that in 1990 when we were playing with the Cincinnati Reds, and you know, we show up and had an unbelievable series with the Pittsburgh Pirates and won that, but then went into the World Series, everybody expecting us just to get killed by the Oakland A's. That's back when they had their power and everything. You know, before you have a blink of an eye, it's a 4-game sweep, and then the season's over. So you just sneak up on people, and you know, you get some pitchers that are hot, some young players that can play, and a lot of fun for the city.
1-2. Just missed. Dwyer did not like that call.
Close. Once in a while, that plate in a game like this might start to get a little bit wider, but not so far. Alan Porter's kind of stuck to his guns back there.
That one he gets the call.
Seems like that's the low pitch that he's been calling.
So the first 2 singles do not hurt Hughes. As he strands them, Russell Martin will lead off the bottom of the inning. Smokers Quit Line quiz. The question: Jim Palmer won 186 games during the 70s, the most in the American League. Who were the only other 2 AL pitchers to win at least 140 games that decade? I think Catfish Hunter's
said
won.
Catfish, yeah. I was going to say an ex-Yankee.
Let's see who the others would be. And Louis Tiant.
Louis.
So Catfish did it with the Yankees and the A's.
Tiant, majority in Boston, but he came here too for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, oh yes, for 2 years, and he started with the Cleveland Indians.
Well, he's a fun guy to watch pitch because of his motion and what he did. Look at the sky and never picked up the target, but had unbelievable control.
This is well before your time, but when Louis Tiant was here, I mean, he was obviously famous for being a pitcher, but he did commercials for Yankee Franks. And if you're somebody of my age, you remember Louis Tiant doing those commercials for Yankee Franks.
Yeah.
And it was part of that era. (11-1) Yankees over the Orioles. Russell Martin, Casey McGehee, and Ichiro. Jim Wolf says strike. 19 seasons for Tiant, 3-time All-Star, once with the Indians and twice with the Red Sox, 2-time ERA champion, and 4 20-win seasons. Base hit for Russell Martin.
See Hardy running after that ball again. I think you have an advantage as a hitter. If you can hit the ball hard, the track is slow, fielders don't move real well. Russell Martin hit this ball pretty hard, which is a good sign for him.
And if you take a look at the infield from that angle right now, you can see the sheen starting to form on the dirt. So it's got to be a little bit slippery and slick.
Almost looks like standing water, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You could just go down there and you could belly flop for us, wouldn't you? And slide in the mud, bring back old memories of being young. Did you ever slip and slide, Michael?
No, I did not.
No?
I lived in the Bronx. There was asphalt there. There's no grass.
You got no incline asphalt parking lots or something?
Well, you're going to slide on asphalt. You're going to get it cut up.
I thought you guys were tough here, man.
There's no backyard.
Oh, no backyard. There's a back of the building or something.
There was another building.
You're right. You know what? You are right. There are a lot of buildings around here.
Ground ball to second. There's one. On to first. They double up McGehee. So in his first at bat, the first 2 times he walked, he grounds into a 4-6-3 double play.
The only problem with the slow fielding is you're slow getting out of the box too, getting down to the line.
Pitch to Ichiro is a strike.
Feeling to come over in the middle of the year. We talked about it a little bit, and you know, all of a sudden you put on a uniform on, you're a teammate with people, you know them by face, but you've never met them. You know, the Pittsburgh Pirates, we might play once or twice in spring training or something. That you know, all of a sudden you're playing on a team with a bunch of guys you don't know, and it takes time.
And there's a strike.
Talking about comfortable at bat sometimes, and this is a comfortable at bat for Ichiro.
Ground ball down the third base line, and Ichiro with an infield single, and he now has a 9-game hitting streak. And it's about as soft a hitting streak as you could have, but he picks up a base hit right there, a hit per game in 9 straight games.
I was going to say it's a comfortable at bat. I was going to give you some numbers there. With this hit, Ichiro was 13 for 24 off a grade, which is well above 500. So he knows how to put the ball in play. Kind of a swinging bunt there. You kind of just let go of the bat, put it in play, and use your speed.
It looked for a moment there, Paul, and I think it might be the case that he was actually in midair. He was pivoting and both feet were off the ground as he was trying to get traction to run to first base and pick up a hit. The 1-0 to Nix. Fly ball center field. Jones is there, and that will do it. Here is midair Ichiro. Swings, and believe me, he was in the air there for a second as we go to the fifth. Bob, still raining here at Yankee Stadium as we go to the fifth inning, and the Yankees lead the Orioles 11-1 on the Kia scoreboard. So Phil Hughes wants to get these 3 outs, make it an official game, and the pitch is high, 1-0. Nick Markakis in this series 7 for 11. 1 for 2 today. There's a strike.
Things are brightening up here, Michael. See the sky? Not on your monitor, but through my glasses.
It does look a little brighter.
Rose-tinted ones.
Swing and a miss. Markakis down on strikes. Hey, let's go right back to Bob Lorenz in the studio. He has more to say. Thank you, Bob. We'll hear from Bob and Jack and Meredith a little bit later on, and also in the postgame. Count 2-0 on J.J. Hardy. Foul back.
You know what, Michael? You started something. I just get a text from Ashley Fugazi, who basically does everything for us for Yes, right?
Right.
She just wanted to remind me at Carvel it's soft serve ice cream and not self-serve ice cream. So this is what you've started. By your little comments up here.
Fly ball deep to right. Jones back. He's on the track. 2 away. Here's the self-serve that Paul's talking about. You just don't do this. Somebody just tweeted me and said that O'Neill just killed 5 to 6 health codes with one move.
I had a spoon and it was clean. It's not like I threw my hand in there or something.
Well, the spoon's connected to your hand.
Yeah, 5 inches away, for God's sakes. I mean, they're clean. I can eat off of it, right?
I don't know.
I will remember that, Ashley. Thank you for the reminder.
What? There's a strike to Chris Davis. I'm sure they did not reach over those two. Help themselves to sprinkles. And the pitch. Hughes working quickly. Check swing. Darryl Cousins said he did not go.
Phil Hughes all day has been trying to throw that fastball in on these big left-handed hitters. First breaking ball he's thrown in an inning and it gets hammered, and that's unusual. See a little flip from Andrew Jones? I always noticed that when he's with the Atlanta Braves. It used to drive me crazy. He'd run back and rob you of a base hit and then just throw kind of that underarm flip back to the infield. I mean, this was a man on base, too. Those softball toss.
It's still not as bad as kicking a ball from right field, which I know somebody once did.
Yeah, my kids have seen that on the highlight reel for years. But, you know, with the story behind it, the game was supposed to be over there. Ouch.
Soft ground ball to Jeter. He charges. Not in time. An infield single for Adam Jones.
You know, Adam Jones hammered a flying drive with men on base last time, and then, you know, something like this ends up. And again, wet ball, wet turf. Adam Jones has good speed. Kind of a half swing, and you get a base hit out of it. Well, back to that play, Michael. I'm in right field with the Reds. Extra innings, 2 outs. We're on the road, so if they score a run, we lose, right? Ground ball to me. I know it's a do-or-die play. I better make it, and I'm going to finish the next inning. How's that?
Good tease as Cano puts it away. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. It's an official game, everybody. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees up by 10. Brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Little Elvis. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is 11-1 on a rainy Wednesday afternoon here at Yankee Stadium. New pitcher for the O's, Matt Lindstrom. Those are the numbers for Lindstrom.
Matt Lindstrom, we saw him yesterday, throws hard.
You going to finish that story or what?
Guess you want to hear it.
Yeah, everybody's waiting.
This is a story that almost got me sent to AAA, by the way. I kicked it straight, so I was lucky. But, you know, we're in Philadelphia, wet night. Lenny Dykstra gets a hit. If I make a do-or-die play, we're in the game. If I boot it, we lose, right? We're going through tough times. I booted the ball. I think the game's over, so I just kicked it. So it happened that the ball went straight, went to Todd Benzinger, who was playing first base. What I didn't know is the runner fell going around third base because it was wet, and he didn't score. Go back to the bench. Todd Benzinger didn't see me kick the ball and says to me, we would have had a play on Dykstra, but you had nothing on the throw. And I looked over at it and I was horrified. I thought, you know, I'm going. I'm done. I said, Benji, I didn't even throw it. I kicked it. And he never did understand until he saw the replay.
Jeter, another 3-hit game as he picks up a leadoff single here in the 5th. All right, let's spin the time machine for the younger people in the audience. Here's what Paul talking about.
It's all right. I got to make the play. Up. I screwed it up. Game's over. Up. But see, Jeltz had thrown and Benji didn't know.
That was a left-footed kick, too.
Oh, I was a left field goal kicker in high school with the square toe.
How in the world do you explain that?
Yes, I did wear the square toe in high school.
Well, Tom Dempsey action.
Yeah, George Blandon, Tom Dempsey.
I mean, Benzinger's line is the kicker, so to speak, to that story.
Had nothing on the throw.
Kia scoreboard 11-1 Yankees lead. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Who was the manager then? Was it
Pete Rose?
Yeah. Did Pete say anything to you?
Yeah, he said I wasn't in the lineup tomorrow. We went to Shea Stadium the next night from Philadelphia, and I wasn't in the lineup. And I'm thinking, does that mean I'm in the lineup at AAA? We can laugh about those things now, Michael. You know?
Well, one didn't score.
Next pitch, wild pitch, game over. Johnny Franco.
So he did score.
Yeah, he scored on the next pitch, but it wasn't my doing. I kicked, helped him, saved him the third.
The 2-1. Grounded foul. Granderson strikes out. 1 away.
Lindstrom takes a little bit off that split finger at 87, and you know he can throw in the mid-90s. So guys like this that can keep that arm speed and get that split finger over for strikes can be tough.
Swisher caught there by Hardy, and it's going to be a double play. Nice play by J.J. Hardy, turned it into a 6-3 double play to end the inning. No runs are hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We're going to the 6th here at the stadium. Wilson Betemit will start it off. Yankees lead 11-1, and the inning ends with a 6-3 double play. Game looks like the rain has stopped for the most part. So both teams might have weathered through any threat of a delay. Betamit 2 for 2 takes a strike from Hughes. 0-2. Count 2-2. And the count 3-2.
Get an opportunity to talk to Buck at all to see if any of those trade rumors were close or true?
I asked him about Blanton, and he kind of he said, not that close, but I don't think he was going to say they failed at trying to get him, but I think that there was definitely serious discussion. And not that Blanton is a great pitcher by any stretch, but I think that the Orioles felt it would be good to get a veteran with all the young pitchers. Something they really don't have. And just as a leader, not a bad starter, and he's certainly been with the Phillies a while and done a lot of winning. Pitch outside. So Betamit works a walk. Well, we have the Yes Network games going on this week. And you know how it works. You can tweet a trivia question about today's opponent and hashtag it Yes Network Games. Each day, one question is going to be chosen and asked to us. Tune into the game to see if we answer your question. And we'll give you that question in just a moment.
And I'll give you the answer a little moment after that. How's that?
You cheated yesterday.
Now, how'd I do that?
Mark Reynolds hits a deep fly ball to left. Backing up is Suzuki on the track. He leaps and he makes the play. Betamit will head back to first. So in his first regular season game in left field, Ichiro measures where he is, makes a little leap, and comes down with the ball.
You know, right field, left field, this is what you do. You find the wall, then you know how high you need to get up, and then you don't have to worry about that wall. Just fundamentally a great outfielder, Ichiro. Really good play.
Wouldn't have been out, would have been an extra base hit.
Yeah, but the key to that thing is if you don't get to the wall, you know, you're worried about where the wall is and you don't know where to jump. And the key is to use your speed, get to the wall, find it, and then find the ball.
Crowd chanting Ichiro, Ichiro. Fouled straight back here.
Hey, that's close.
And right under our booth.
Again, right there, you take your eye off the ball, you get back, and then you feel for the wall. Just textbook. Great job.
Foul back by Chavez.
Talk about a play, you know, over the wall was Endy Chavez with the Mets back in the playoffs.
Against the Cardinals. Count 1-2.
What's on your agenda tonight, Michael? I'm sure you got the night off. You got a day off tomorrow.
I'm going to go meet the
big stuff, huh?
Meet the wife for dinner.
Yeah?
Between her two newscasts. Grounded off of Phil Hughes and kicks right out to Nix. Throws to first and gets it. We talked about Ichiro moving to left field, and Joe Girardi before the game talked about Ichiro's adjustment with the move.
A guy that has 10 Gold Gloves, it's a talented outfielder, and there might be a little adjustment. I mean, we're not really going to know until you get him out there in game situation. I mean, you can take all the balls off the bat and batting practices you want, but it's going to be different when it's game situation. And with all his experience, we just feel that he can do it, and he'll do a good job.
Well, he has 3 putouts today, and the toughest one was the one we just saw, taking extra base hit away from Mark Reynolds. Here's Quintanilla with a runner on second, 2 outs. In that last play, Chavez retired 1-5-3.
You nervous about these yes games today? We might stump you today.
Am I nervous? I don't think nervous would be the word. All right, this is from @agent_M, who holds the Yankees record for longest home run onto Utah Street in Baltimore.
All right, let's go there, big fella.
Well, it opened up in '92. This is the 20th anniversary. I think I know this. And I'm going to write it down. And I want you copying.
Copying?
You know it?
I think I know it.
Oh. There's a strike. The one thing I don't like about this game, sitting right above us is Marakovitz, and she sees everything we're writing. So it's like that class in high school where somebody's behind you, they could copy.
Yeah.
And that's wrong.
You know, usually in high school,
she's up there. She sees exactly.
You wanted the pretty girls ahead of you, so you could look at them without them knowing, right?
Quintanilla.
We got a bad seating chart here in the booth.
So suspiciously, she's gotten both that I've gotten. You didn't, because I hide.
Well, you know what you do? Like, just get 2 cards and write an A and a B and see if she cheats. And if she writes down like some name you've never heard of and you did it intentionally, we got her for the rest of the week.
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also think our producer, Bill Bolin, is helping her. Pitches inside. Now, I didn't see what you wrote, but you just wrote down something with authority. Like you believe it.
I believe it.
All right. Markakis fouls it back. We'll find out in the bottom of the 6th what the answer is. You have your answer, Rocky? She thinks so. Count 2-1. Yankee fans haven't seen this in a while, since June of last year. Joba Chamberlain is up.
I told you he was going to pitch today, Michael. You don't listen to me. Perfect situation. Got a big lead. He needs an inning.
High fly ball, right field. Andrew Jones is there. And that'll do it. Well, Joe Girardi makes the move to put Ichiro in left field today, and it pays dividends. He goes back on a Mark Reynolds fly ball, reaches for the wall, leaps, and hauls it in. Here's the question from one of our Twitter followers, at @agent_M. Who holds the Yankees record for longest home run onto Utah Street? That's in right field in Baltimore. So let us show you our answers before we give you the official one. I say Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill says me, and Meredith said this guy.
I stumped you too. Now I get extra credit because look.
Wait. Meredith also says 431 feet. Now, how would she know that unless she's looking that up?
Yeah, that's right, man. Right off the top of my head.
I knew.
Yeah.
You knew.
See, I knew
I
today.
didn't know it was off Arthur Road, so I get extra credit.
This is what I heard, that he was starting to feel bad.
Did that come on your own field before the game? Somebody just threw that out to you?
No, that's not where I heard it. Actually, last time we were in Baltimore, Kenny was there, and he always talks about what a blast that was.
431, and you knew that off the top of your head.
I listen. What do you want from me?
Let's see the answer. Let's see if we were all right. See, I can't buy that,
See, I
Meredith.
couldn't get the year. I didn't remember the year, but I remember because Curtis Granderson hit one this year.
You weren't even born in '96. How do you know 431?
Hey, Michael, all I can say, don't hate the player.
We're getting shown up here, Michael.
You know why, though? I'm going to tell you why she could remember that. She's very young. She has less to remember in her brain. We've got all
This
these
is
years.
Arthur Rose. Don't throw it.
400, 410, 20, 431. Oh, and they got a mark there. Wow, that's impressive, Paul. Against the lefty,
I like that.
too.
That's pretty cool. A little bail and whale.
Let's see the standings in the Yes Network games. Paul, you're just right behind us.
I know. Like I said, I just want a game winner at the end. That's all. Michael, you need a new picture. I'm telling you, right? That ain't
That
good.
is an awful picture. That's also about 40 pounds ago. Can we get the stick figure picture, please? Meredith, thank you so much for cheating, and we'll see you on the postgame.
Wow, I didn't cheat. I will be there on the postgame, but I look forward to taking the Yes Network games.
Don't be so sure. Don't be so sure. I'm committed to winning this.
It's early.
And also, you're not sitting above us tomorrow on Friday. You're going to sit down here.
Oh, now he is calling your
That's
bluff.
fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I can do that.
All
Why
right.
would I? First of all, you're blocking it. The way you're sitting, you're blocking it anyway.
That's right, Mike. I forgot. You could never cheat off you from behind because your head's too darn big.
I wasn't going to say that. He went there, not me.
Thanks, Meredith. Robinson Cano gets plunked on the foot, so he'll take first base. That's an 11-1 game, as you can tell. Bottom of the sixth inning. Yankees are leading. Trying to salvage the final game of this three-game set. 11-13 and 0, beating 1-9 and 0. Now, Paul, you did not remember 431 feet, did you?
No, I remembered Arthur Rhodes, and I remember when, but I didn't know the distance. But, you know, I remember that because somebody sent me a picture of it. I didn't know for sure that somebody hadn't, you know, in the meantime, broke that.
Grounded, through for a base hit. You've also seen, Paul, and I'm sure you've noticed this, Meredith, as well, there's a little bit of a thread through this. The first answer was David Wells on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was Kenny Singleton.
Yeah.
Today it's you. So they're
We're
Oriole
at-
questions, but there's a Yankee thread to it.
Yeah, it's all like intertwined.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I got the one yesterday, because I wasn't sure about Kenny, but then I'm thinking, you know, after Boomer, we're tying this all together.
Yeah.
It's helping me.
Let's see how they tie together Seattle Mariner questions on Friday. You got Pinella, you've got Ichiro,
we got a lot of stuff.
You got Jay Buhner.
Yeah, we got playoff stuff too.
Yeah.
With them. It will get tougher, I'm sure.
I hope. Count 1-0. We're in the bottom of the sixth inning at the stadium. Yankees 11 and the Orioles 1. Martin 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. It's got to be very sobering for Russell. Look up at that board in center field. His average is 190, and we're in August. And Paul's talked about this before. At this point, you're not going to have a great year average-wise. And you've just got to take it day to day to help the team. And that's not a good sight on August 1st.
We've talked about it before last time I'm in town, actually, that you just got to readjust your sights. I'm not going to hit the numbers I want, but he has an opportunity. He's hit some home runs lately. You get to 15 home runs, that's respectable. I mean, that's not a bad year for a catcher. And defensively, there's no nitpicking what he's done. He's done a great job.
There's one, no return throw, so they get the force at 7. This is what the month ahead looks like for the Yanks. We've got the Seattle Mariners in town over the weekend. Then a 4-game set in Detroit. Then 3 in Toronto. Then back home for 4 against Texas. That's going to be interesting. And then 3 against Boston. That's a good homestand. Then back on the road, 3 against the White Sox and 3 against the Indians. And back home, 3 more against Toronto. And then we start with a game against Baltimore, a weekend series that goes into September. The season is moving along quickly.
It is, and you look at those 4-game series, both against Detroit and both against Texas. Those are tough series. When you play a 4-game series, usually means you're never going to miss. I mean, for instance, you go to Detroit, you're not going to miss Verlander probably in a 4-game series. You're going to get probably the 3 best in Texas. So those are setting up to be big series and probably have some playoff feelings. Because let's face it, you're going to have to go through Texas. You're going to have to go through Anaheim. You have to go through the Yankees to win the All-American League.
McGehee grounds into his second double play, a 3-6-1 as Lindstrom was covering. No runs a hit and 1 man left on base. We go to the 7th. Yankees are up 11-1. He's been around a while, but he hasn't pitched in over a year. He gets a huge ovation from the crowd as he is introduced. Joba Chamberlain coming back from Tommy John surgery. Coming back from a horrific ankle injury suffered this spring training on a trampoline with his son. And he has come all the way back. He's looked great in rehab assignments, Paul. And now he's back on the mound. This must be an absolute thrill for him. What a long road back.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of hard work in between. There's no doubt. But he is going to be he's a power arm. And he's always exciting to come see out of the pen. You've mentioned it. He's a fan favorite. And if he can come in and help, you know, that's just like a you talk about it many times. When you bring good players back, it's like making a good trade, and we'll see what happens here.
Last time we've seen him pitch June 16th of 2001. And then Tommy John surgery. And that day that he pitched, he actually pitched very well, and he still had good velocity. And he had blown out a ligament in his elbow. I said 2001, 2011, I'm sorry. So Joba on the mound. Cadillac scoreboard, 11-1 Yanks. And there's a strike. That one is driven out to left field. Ichiro back. He's on the track. He's at the wall. And it's a home run. I think it hit off the top of the wall. So a rude greeting for Joba Chamberlain. He serves up a home run to J.J. Hardy.
J.J. Hardy hit a slider from Joba. We talked about it. Sliders in this series that don't have sharp break end up in the seats. Take a look at this one and see. Kind of a roller, actually kind of backed up to the middle of the plate. So Chris Stewart wanted that ball in the dirt. Oh, I'm sorry, Russell Martin wanted that ball in the dirt, actually.
Chris Davis grounds one to Jeter. And there's one away here in the 7th. Ichiro gave it a try. He's not that tall. He gets up there and just can't get there. Top the ball to make the play. So one down, and here's Adam Jones. Joba in his rehab games was throwing about 97 miles an hour. Now, before he got hurt last year, 2-0, 2.83 in 27 relief appearances.
A lot of breaking balls coming out of the pen in an 11-1 game.
We've seen a lot from Joba. He started, he's relieved, he came up in 2007. What a burst of energy to the Yankees and big outs out of the bullpen. Ground ball up the middle, a base hit. So Jones picks up his second hit in 4 at-bats. This is what Joba's done through the years. Look at those numbers in 2007. In 19 games, a 0.38 ERA. And then they started to maneuver him as a starter in 08 and 09. Back to the bullpen in 2010. He was having a good year last year. Till he blew out his elbow, and here he is back on the mound over a year later. And here's Matt Wieters. Paul, I'm not sure you remember where you were, but I remember I was with you in Cleveland when he got attacked by the midges. We were actually under the tunnel behind home plate, getting ready to go on the field, and that's something that will live forever in Yankee lore. And that's one of the things that Joe Torre said he made a mistake about. He said he should have pulled his team off the field. I think Joe's actually in the ballpark today, but the midges attacked off the lake all over Joba. Obviously they unnerved him, and the Indians ended up coming back to win.
Talk about a good time. I mean, there's got to be some nervousness. I don't care how long you've been in the league. If you've taken a year off and you're back at Yankee Stadium, it's just a good opportunity to get an inning under your belt. I'm surprised at how many breaking balls he's thrown, though. But fastball there.
Here's the attack of the midges, and he was spraying bug spray on, which we found out later was the wrong thing because that just attracted them more. Line drive base hit to right field off the bat of Wieters as Jones moves to second. So Joba coming back has given up a home run and 2 singles. Pitch is low to Bettamy.
Has been at 92, 93, not where he was. So, you know, again, this is an opportunity for him to get an inning, kind of get rid of all the cobwebs, get rid of, and, you know, he's going to be in some situations where he's going to have to come in and get big outs before the year's over. And this is just the first step of bringing him back in, making him feel part of this team again.
Let's see if they turn 2. There's 1, and there's 2. So Joba gets out of further trouble, but he does give him a run on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. Yankees 11 and the Orioles 2, but we'll stay where we are to honor America in the Bronx.
Will you please rise and offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Thanks a lot, Bob. Also, Don Mattingly gave up his number 8, which he'd been wearing as a manager of the Dodgers, to Shane Victorino, and Mattingly will take uniform number 12. Time for the game summary, brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. Yankees with a big lead, 11-14-0 for the Yanks, 2-12-0 for the Orioles. Cano with a grand slam, his 24th of the year, the team's 8th, 24th home run. Jeter, another 3-hit game, 3 hits, 3 ribbies, and Granderson hit a solo home run in the first inning, his 29th blast of the year. Donnie still remember fondly here at Yankee Stadium, number 23. Donnie was in those awkward years where the team wasn't good, then they started to get better, then he retired, and then the championships came, so he never got a ring, but he is beloved by New York fans and guys that played on the same team as him. Luis Ayala takes over for the Orioles. You've always said one of your best teammates, right?
One of my favorites, no doubt. I wish him the best out in L.A. It's exciting to see L.A. going out and getting players, so he's going to have an opportunity to do something with that team this year. And he and Buck Showalter retired kind of at the same time. That year, 1995, that was it for both of them.
Yeah, Buck moved on to the Diamondbacks, and Donnie said that was it for him. Cadillac scoreboard, Yankees lead 11-2. And that was after Donnie hit over 400 in that series against Seattle. Ichiro with a ground ball to second. One away, so it looks like Ichiro, unless he comes up again, which he could, but not likely, will have a 9-game hitting streak, and each game will be 1 hit. There's Jason Nix. He's had a nice game. He's 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, a double, an RBI. Yankees have got an awful lot of production out of everybody on their bench. Chris Stewart, the backup catcher, Eric Chavez, Jason Nix, whichever way you look at Ibanez or Jones, whichever one's not starting that day, they've got a lot of production from those players, the bench bombers.
Yeah, and it's just the way you set up a team, and the Yankees are fortunate enough to have depth, and that's what it is, where you can plug guys in, and I don't know if it's just coincidence or luck, but it just seems like the Yankees, the guys they bring in to do those jobs, and they put up numbers, and you don't miss players that you would think. I mean, as soon as Alex Rodriguez goes down, how are you going to go on? And Raul Ibanez, I mean, the job he's done, and it's just certain guys come in that just put up numbers.
Orioles have a new defensive alignment. Quintanilla is at shortstop. Flaherty now plays second. Ford's in left field. Chavez moves to center. And Markakis still in right. And Teagarden is behind the plate.
So Flash took the day off from W.B. Mason. He's playing a little second base today. Huh?
That's right. So Buck kind of runs up the white flag. Porter with a new baseball, hand delivered to Luis Ayala. And now Buck goes out and talks with Porter.
And Buck doesn't miss things. I mean, just want to make sure the umpires, on the same page as the pitcher. And this on a day like this when balls get wet and muddy, you're going to see a lot of them change.
A really nice day for Jason Nix. 3 for 4 for him. 2 singles and a double. Time for another look at today's Toyota text poll, everybody. Again, the question, which of these Oriole Hall of Famers would you choose to build a team around?
This is one of the tougher questions I think we've had, Mike.
38% say Cal Ripken. I think both of us felt it would be Frank Robinson. But Cal Ripken's not a bad choice.
No. You couldn't lose anywhere in there.
Eddie Murray is last. Our good buddy and colleague Ken Singleton texted some of us, actually some people in the truck, and said if he had a vote, he would have voted for Frank Robinson.
And that's saying a lot because he played with Eddie Murray and has nothing but unbelievable things to say about Eddie Murray and what he could do at the plate.
And he played with Palmer, and he played with Ripken. I think he also played with Brooks Robinson. He played with all of them. Chavez pinch hitting for Jeter. Grounds it back to Ayala. There's one. And they don't get the double play. So Jeter's day is done, and Chavez just begun. Frank Robinson, his first year with the Orioles, he won the MVP. 316, 49 homers, and 122 runs batted in. And that's when 49 homers was
just 49
homers.
That's when league leaders were in the 30s at times. So.
And as we said earlier, the Reds traded him at the age of 30. They thought he was an old 30. Not a bad resume for Frank Robinson. 21 big league seasons, Rookie of the Year in 56, MVP in the National League in 61, won the championship with Baltimore in 66 and 70, first African-American manager, and he was a player manager with the Indians in 75. He sent himself up to pinch hit in the first game. 57 hits shy of 3,000 as Granderson flies out to Ford, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. 7 in the books at the stadium. It's 11-2 Yankees. All right, let's take a look at Friday's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed, internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. Kevin Millwood, don't let the record fool you. He's pitched pretty well this year to a 3.90 ERA, and the Mariners are red hot. CC Sabathia for the Yankees trying to bounce back from a subpar outing, 10-3, 3.57. Our coverage will begin at 6 p.m. with the BP show. 6:30 is the pregame show. Right around 7:07 will be first pitch.
Another guy there that around the trade deadline's name seems to always come up. I'm sure Seattle heard from a few teams, trying to fill in a starter.
Hyundai scoreboard 11-2 Yankees. So they send Joba out for a second inning of work, and he did not look overpowering in his first inning of work in the 7th. He gave up 3 hits, a home run to the first batter he faced. And the 97-mile-an-hour fastball that we heard about in his rehab assignments was not present in that first inning. He was throwing about 93, and as Paul said, really threw the slider a lot.
A lot. The first inning, and it just coming out of the bullpen, I think he felt like, kind of had a dead arm, didn't have as good live fastball.
Reynolds grounds one foul. Chavez is taken over at third, and Nix has moved from third to short. Chavez had pinch hit for Jeter. Nix with 3 hits today.
Maybe you think about it, Nix has, recently done a really good job of, putting together some games against left-handed pitchers. And, you go out and get McGehee, everybody assumes, hey, he's just going to platoon with Chavez at third. But, Nix has got something to say about that, too. He's swinging the bat pretty well. Had a good game today.
Reynolds walks against Joba.
For his last 32, talking about Nix, 313 and 4 doubles, 2 homers off of lefty. So, he's putting together a little streak where he's handling the left-handed pitching well.
The phone rings for Mike Harkey, and they'll get somebody up in the Yankee bullpen.
Sounds like he didn't want to talk to him, but just dropped it.
What? 91-mile-an-hour fastball to Andy Chavez. Clay Rapata and David Robertson. Count 2-1. Slapped out in the left field. On the run is Ichiro. Is going to be over his head and roll to the scoreboard. Reynolds is at third, and they're going to wave him home. Here's the throw from Nix. Here's the play. He's in there. What a gamble when you're down by 9 runs. But DeMarlo Hale, the third base coach, waved him home, and Nix made a pretty good throw.
You know, a lot of times as a third base coach in a game like this, you kind of just take it for granted that the cutoff's not going to be good, and you're probably not even going to throw and hold the runner at second. But Nix turns around and throws a bullet in there.
Boy, if he would have been thrown out, Hale would have had an answer to Showalter. When you're down by 9, well, he scores, so no harm, no foul. But it was just barely bang, bang. And Russell actually missed the tag, swiped it, and the hand was in there. Here's Quintanilla. Pitch outside, 1-0, another slider from Joba.
You know, it's interesting to me that, you know, with Joba going back out there and throwing 2 innings, that, you know, you're not looking maybe at him as just being a 7-inning guy. You know, that might be a guy that comes in and give you 2 or 3 innings. You're using that way.
Nix makes a nice play on the back pedal to retire Quintanilla.
You know what I mean, Mike?
Yep.
You look at Soriano, he's your closer. You look at Robertson, he's your 8th-inning guy. You know, the way Joba, the scouting report was, you know, high to mid-90s, he might be your 7th-inning guy, and then you'll match up with other guys when they need days off. But by sending him out, you know, you might look at him at, you know, in close games giving you a couple innings, which is only going to make him available, you know, a couple, 3 times a week at the most.
Here's Markakis. And there's a strike. Orioles have not done the job with runners in scoring position in this game. 0 for 13. The Yankees 7 of 12. And the Orioles have 13 hits, just none of them with runners in scoring position. The Yankees have 15 hits. Wade did that pitch, count 0-2.
I haven't seen too many pitches that Markakis has not been on in this series. That being one of a good changeup by Joba.
Markakis 7 for 13 in this 3-game set. And unless the Orioles really rally, they will fail to sweep the Yankees, and they have not swept them in a 3-game set in the Bronx since June of 1986.
You were writing with a paper and I was playing with the red. Huh?
That's right.
That's a while ago, right?
It was at the New York Post. Line drive right at Nix. All right, you can vote along with us for today's Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 42951 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Here are today's candidates: Robinson Cano, Phil Hughes, Derek Jeter, or Curtis Granderson. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Well, Joe Girardi is going to take the ball from Joba Chamberlain. Joba gets a nice hand to welcome back from the crowd, but he'd be the first to tell you he was not on the top of his game, as the Yankees will go to the bullpen as Joba departs an inning and 2/3.
WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry review the key moments from today's action, plus Meredith Marakovich in the clubhouse with the team's reaction and Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's a WB Mason postgame, only on Yes.
Well, the Yankees will bring in Clay Rapata, try to get the final out of this 8th inning, and he will face the lefty swinging Ryan Flaherty, who entered in the 7th inning for J.J. Hardy. In that spot, those are the numbers on Rapata, who has not had as much success lately as he did early getting out left-handers. Boone Logan has also struggled of late in that role, and that's what they need to do. That's their job. So let's see how he does against Flaherty. Many in the crowd of 44,593 on their way home. A rainy afternoon in the Bronx for a Wednesday matinee. Count 1 and 2 from Rapata.
Make out of that. You let Joba face Markakis, and then you take him out to face Flaherty. Was it a pitch thing he wanted to get to?
I think it was a pitch thing, and I think he also wanted to see him go against a real good hitter like Markakis.
When you want to bring Rapata in to try to get a lefty, you have to get his confidence up too.
And it all worked out. So there you have it. 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. Nick Swisher will lead it off. Game and every Yes Network game another time around. If you missed any of the big hits and great plays, just watch the encore later every night or again the next morning at 9. And it's brought to you by Verizon Fios. Luis Ayala will pitch another inning for the Orioles on the Hyundai scoreboard. It's 11-3 Yankees. Zach Britton started for the O's. He's in line to pick up the loss. Kevin Gregg, Matt Lindstrom, and now Luis Ayala pitching the 7th and the 8th. Flaherty moves from second to right field for the Orioles, and Robert Andino takes over at second. Swisher, 2 for 3, a walk, and then lined sharply into a 6-3 double play, so he hit the ball well today. That one's grounded to first. Reynolds, 1 out. Here's Cano. Big blow in this game as the Yankees scored 7 runs in the 3rd. He had a grand slam.
Nice days to have big games. You hit a grand slam, get a big win, especially for a day off at home. You just don't have a lot of days off in the middle of the year at home.
If you're just joining us, maybe it's the first time you could duck away from your desk. Here it is, third inning. And he knew it. Big dinner with Frank and Mary tonight, I hear, Paul.
Celebrating Frank's birthday. Absolutely. It's always a big day when you're out with Frank and Mary, right?
I've never had the opportunity, but I heard it's fun. Count 3-0.
I'm taking my pocket transistor with me to dinner tonight. Just listen to the rest of your radio show.
Sounds good to me.
Make it a full day. So don't say anything bad, because I will tweet you or text you or do something.
Let's get Frank a gift.
Yeah, I told you before, that gift cost me a little bit more than it should have, because that's when I backed into a telephone pole. Just, you try to be nice, and next thing you know, you hit a telephone pole.
Now my sources are telling me you did not get rental car insurance. Is that true?
Well, that's kind of up in the air right now.
Count 3-2. Paul did actually tweet out pictures from the accident scene, so.
You own a car? Well, you live in the city. Oh,
of course I own a car.
You go out to Westchester. I remember my sister lived here for years. She didn't own a car. What do you need a car for when you're in the city?
Well, if you're going to leave the city and go visit your sister or something, you got to be able to have a car. I mean, when I go to the radio show in the winter, I take the train, the subway.
Yeah. Did you grow up doing that? I mean, do you go to school on trains and stuff?
I went to my high school. I took 4 buses each way.
Wow.
Yeah.
And those weren't school buses? Or
No, they were city buses. I lived a hard and gritty life, Paul. Aren't you getting that feeling?
Yeah.
Here's Andrew Jones. Pitch inside, 1-0. Andrew with a single today. Sack fly in the first inning, struck out in the third twice. That's a bad inning for a player. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. But a good inning for the Yankees. They scored 7 runs.
One thing Andrew Jones has not changed since he broke in the league is he gets his money worth at the plate. He doesn't cut his swing down, gets his cuts in, and he's not looking to hit a single up the middle. He's looking to hit the ball in the seats. He's gifted enough as a young player to be able to do that and still hit for a high average. Unbelievable center field with the Atlanta Braves.
Just missed Jones.
Or did it?
I think it didn't just miss him. It hit him. It took a while for Alan Porter to tell him that. He didn't want to take first. He wanted to take a hack. Where?
Right on that spider web that he's got tattooed on his elbow.
See if we hear it. He said ouch. But sometimes you say ouch in anticipation of getting hit.
Yeah, sometimes he can actually hit your uniform. And, that counts as being hit by a pitch, but you don't really feel it.
So Buck is going to go to the bullpen. Runners on first and second, 1 out. Russell Martin due up. So Showalter going to the pen. Yankees up 11-3.
the Mariners back to the Bronx for a 3-game set at the stadium. Coverage starts at 6 o'clock with the batting practice today and the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Michael and I got to work with you again.
Yep.
Back in the booth for the series opener, only on Yes.
And Meredith will be here for the Yes Network games.
Yeah. I like your idea. Bring her down here for the questions.
Absolutely.
So she can't.
Tommy Hunter, 16 starts, but has been moved to the bullpen for a bit. 4-6, 5.72. Opponents hitting .301 against Hunter. So Ayala leaves first and second, 1 man out. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's been all Yankees. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 7 in the third. And they have not looked back since. Pitch outside from Hunter. And a strike, 1-1.
If you're on deck, you're Casey McGehee. You're thinking, you know, I've walked twice, I haven't got my first hit. I'd love to get out of the way. You're just begging for anything to get up to that plate, anything but a double play here.
Now that's how a hitter's mind works. So he hasn't had a good day. He'd rather have another at bat than say, "Gee, I don't want to get up there again."
Absolutely, you want to get that, you know, that good at bat out of the way. You want to get a hit, feel like you're, you know, made your Yankee Stadium debut.
Count 3-1, so he might come out with the bases loaded.
Good things happen with the bases loaded. That's, I mean.
That one's driven to right field. Fair ball, it's gone. It is a foul ball. So that makes the count 3-2. Kept slicing.
The runners are allowed to go now under the code of ethics of baseball when you have this big of a lead. So 3-2, you're allowed to go, which means that Casey McGehee will probably get that. You see how you make a mustache here, Michael? Get that another at bat. Everybody wants to be the W.B. Mason man.
Marner does not go. Fouled away. Pitch is low and the bases are loaded.
Setting up a big stage for him here, huh, Mike?
Absolutely. So Casey McGehee, acquired from the Pirates yesterday, right before the trade deadline for Chad Qualls. And he will dig in with the bases loaded under the watchful eye of Buck Showalter. He's trying to keep it right here, 11-3. Casey, first 2 times he stepped to the plate, he walked, then he's wrapped into 2 double plays. But he has scored 2 runs. Count 1-0. Great numbers of the bases loaded for McGehee, a .327 hitter with 2 grand slams. Two 2-0.
What are you feeling here, Michael?
Bailing well.
Bailing well. Yeah.
High drive, deep center. Going back, Chavez, still back. He's on the track, he'll make the play. Tagging is Cano, he will score. It's a sac fly for McGehee, and it's 12-3 Yanks.
You see Casey McGehee does have pop. He just missed that one. The ball's not carrying. There's been some balls hit out to center field today that just did not carry. Hit that ball really well. Just missed it. Funny, I mean, he just missed it, but he hasn't been here enough to know, you know, whether you get it in your home ballpark.
Ichiro takes a strike from Hunter. Ichiro extended his hitting streak to 9 straight with an infield single down the third baseline. One and one. Two and one. First and second, 2 men out. Ripped into left center field. Chavez is there and he'll play for the final out. But the Yankees get a run on no hits, 2 walks and a hit batter. 2 men left. 9th inning for the Orioles. They're down by 9. (12-3) Yankees as they get or try to get back to their winning ways, having lost 9 of their last 12 games. Chris Davis against Clay Rapata. And there's a strike. It'll be Davis, Ford, and Teagarden as Showalter has made wholesale changes. And a strike, 0-2. Strike 3. Davis down looking. 1 away here in the 9th.
Well, pitching change coming up here, Michael. Buck does it. Joe's going to do it too. It's the way the managers work.
And with a day off tomorrow, that's why he's doing it. Looks like he's going to get Robertson some pitches with Ford coming up and Teagarden. So stick around. pitch profile. I'm going to do this, Paul. Phil Hughes, 6 innings, 9 hits, a run, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. There's a double play. There he paints the corner with a fastball and then a fastball up in the zone. So Phil Hughes is in line to pick up his 11th victory on the Mazda pitch profile.
That's exactly what I was going to say, so you're doing a good job.
Thanks. So to the strains of Sweet Home Alabama, David Robertson warming up and trying to get the final 2 outs. 49 strikeouts in 32 2/3 innings. And a strike to Lou Ford. And the 0-1. Hammered foul.
We talked a lot about it last night, Mike, with Lou Ford, and we kind of with Joba. It's been over a year since he's been in the major league. Was Lou Ford since 2000 what?
2007.
7 since he's been in the major league.
According to the Elias Sports Bureau, Paul, the last player to go more than 4 years between hits in the big leagues was Valentino Pascucci. He went 6 years and 340 days between 2004 and 2011.
And in the Italian league or something?
I've never heard of Pascucci. So Valentino Pascucci.
And who do you play for?
You know what? I don't know. I should have looked that up, but we'll find that out in a moment. He was in both the Phillies and the Mets organizations. As Lou Ford down looking. Yankees 1 out away.
Yeah, Robertson in to get work, but he's got good stuff. I mean, he's got an overpowering fastball, and Lou Ford just kind of locks him up down and in.
Teagarden pops one up. Casey McGehee in his first game as a Yankee makes the final put out, and the Yankees win 12-3 to salvage the final game of this 3-game series. Robinson Cano with a big grand slam as the Yankees pulled away, scoring 7 runs in the 3rd inning, and they never look back. So the Yankees get a win. Now they have a 6.5 game lead over the Orioles. And you have to stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. 12 runs on 15 hits for the Yankees, 3 runs on 13 hits for the Orioles. So the Orioles take 2 out of 3 from the Yanks, but the Yankees enjoy the off day with a victory. Coming up next for the Yankees will be the Mariners here at the stadium, and the Orioles travel to St. Pete to take on the Rays starting on Friday.